Hey y'all, it's Pastor Josh, and today we begin our series on panicked faith. Yesterday we did a sermon that talked about panicked faith, and I told y'all we're going to do a five-part series. So one every day, a quick sermon, not a 20-minute or just about a 5-minute thing at the most on panicked faith. The sermon yesterday, we discussed what panic faith was. We talked about it, and we spoke about the first thing we should do in our panic, which was call on God or call on the name of the Lord. So today we will continue discussing different steps that we can take in this time of panic that can hopefully calm our spirit. And today, in our first one, we will use the book of Joshua to talk about what Joshua, son of Nun, did and what I assume was a time of panic for him. So we pick up again in the first chapter of the book of Joshua, right after Moses died. Now, Moses was Joshua's mentor for most of his life. And at this point, he just died, and Joshua has now to take over. So Joshua is now, right after the loss of his mentor and the loss of the leader of his nation, Joshua steps in to take this role, and he is now the person that the whole nation looks to for guidance. Not just guidance on governing a nation, but in leading them into a new land. And then on top of that, he now has become this great military leader because he has to conquer this foreign land. And he has all that weighing on him and all this stress and all while having to deal with the death of his mentor and mourning that. And God speaks to him in the middle of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up at Joshua chapter 1, beginning at verse 7, and we're going to go to around verse 9. This is what God says to Joshua. He says, "Be brave, be very brave and strong as you carefully obey all of the instruction that Moses, my servant, commanded you. Don't deviate from even a bit from it, either to the right or left. Then you will have success wherever you go. Never stop speaking about this instruction scroll. Recite it day and night so you can carefully obey everything written in it. Then you will accomplish your objectives and you will succeed. I've commanded you to be brave and strong, haven't I? Don't be alarmed or terrified, because the Lord, your God, is with you wherever you go." Now, I wanted to instruct each of us to remember these words in your time of panic after we've called on God to be very brave and be very strong. That's one of the first things we must do, is that after we call on God, we must be strong, we must be brave, and we must rely on God. We must know that He will get us through this. Secondly, he says, obey all that God commanded you. Don't deviate it from it even a little. If God has commanded you to do something, we know is for our best interest, even if we don't see it. And in these cases, we can, if we don't trust ourselves, one thing we can always do is trust God. He also says, never stop speaking about the instruction scroll. The instruction scroll he's talking about is specifically the Torah. I mean, at this time, you had the first 5 books of the Bible written. Obviously, the rest of them wasn't written because they hadn't happened yet. But we have the entirety of the scriptures that we can read and we can study and see what the Lord has said to you and the others in our situation, in the situation we're in now. And that's the beauty of the scriptures, is that it speaks directly to each of us in different ways. But it's also very, very human. So almost any situation you can think of, there's one similar, very similar to that in the scriptures. And then one of the things that I thought was the most important, he says to do all that and to go along with it and to never forget that the Lord is with you wherever you go. And that's even in times like this. That was one of the things that we talked about yesterday, is that the disciples were in the boat and they were asking Christ, like, where are you in this time? Are you just cool with us dying? And what God had told Joshua thousands of years before this is that wherever you go, in whatever time you're in, God is with you. And that includes times like this. So as we bring this to a close, I want you to remember yesterday we talked about calling on the name of the Lord, trusting in God, and this continues that. Trust in God, and the ways we can do that is to be strong, to be brave, to recite what God has given us, to study the scriptures, but to also remember that no matter where we are, no matter what time we're in, no matter what we're going through, that God is always with us. I hope this helped. If it did, man, y'all like it, you share it, all that good stuff. The more we share, the more we like, the more we interact with it, the more it goes out to other people. So I hope this did something very, very good for you. And tomorrow we will be jumping actually backwards, and we'll be talking about something that Moses did, or actually that the Israelites did. in response to Moses and how that can also help us. It's going to be a controversial one. I think I'll get some pushback on it, but I think it's necessary. And, I think y'all will understand at the end. Y'all may fight a little bit, but I think y'all will understand. So y'all be blessed, y'all. Y'all stay inside, wash your hands and all that stuff. Love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.